I know I said in my last video it'd be my last Stamsorc vid for a while, but I ended up theory crafting this build and it's pretty much the best Stamsorc open world setup I've used in a long while. No messing about, let's just get straight into the gear. Spriggan's greatsword. You can use maul, you can use axe, whatever your preference is. I prefer sword. No honed, obviously. Yeah. Black Rose dual wield on the back bar, both defending. I can't be asked to farm for the perfected, so I'm just using the normal one. You can use whichever. Double dot poisons on the back bar. Use them on the back bar because obviously the one-handed weapons have been enchants have been changed, so I'm using that on my front bar, the weapon damage enchant, rather than on my back bar, so using the double dots on that, which are pretty broken, to be honest with you, so use them. Monster set, blood spawn. In this build, on the back bar, which is your dual wield bar, which are both defending, the resistances with just a hurricane are only at 20k because it's medium armor. So 20k resistances, it's not enough. Obviously, you all know that in Cyrodiil nowadays. So I use Bloodspawn to get to about 26, and for the ult gen as well, which is really nice. So you can get the Dawnbreakers off, shit like that. But what you can use is Troll King. But to be fair, don't be the guy that uses Troll King, because when you see the healing power on this setup, I'm not even using Rally. You'll understand why running Troll King is just absolute AIDS, complete AIDS. So run it if you want, but you're gonna get hated. Yeah, Spriggan's chest. All these pieces are in pen. I've gone for the 5-1-1, so I've got one light Bloodspawn and one heavy Bloodspawn. Obviously, better to have the light shoulder and the heavy helmet, but again, I don't have it and I can't be asked for it, to be honest. So, but yeah, this is where it gets interesting. Like, this is what's so OP. Like, I'm probably going to get shit on for releasing this after a while, but it's that good. Briarheart, probably all aware of it. Probably, it's not a new set, so I don't know. It is unique because you don't see many people running it. But when you realise how this build's set up to complement the crit strike heal that you get whilst Briarheart's up, and the weapon damage. Basically 450 for 10 seconds, massive uptime, only 5-second cooldown, which you don't tend to notice that much at all. So it's pretty much up the majority of the time. So yeah, just got that waist, impen, hands Briarheart, legs Spriggans, boots Spriggans. You can do it however you want, to be fair. You can have Briarheart weapons. In fact, you can't have Briarheart weapons because you need to front bar the Spriggans for your Black Rose, because that gives you the tankiness you need when you're on the defense. And then I just got the Briarheart jewelry. I have, in fact, not on this character, but I have like 20 Briarheart rings I picked off the vendor last weekend. So if you want one, let me know. Give you a discount. You know how it is. For the food, Arteum takeaway broth, best in slot. I don't use bone pirate and that. Set on about 1,900 recovery, unbuffed, no pot, no continuous. It's spot on, to be fair. Don't even need dark deal on this setup if you don't want it, but I use it for the burst heal. Can use dubious. That's your poor man's Arteum. And you can even use Augurs if you want the tri recoveries, which is nice on the Magicka, but you could without it, in my opinion. For the pots, tri-pots or whatever, I don't even know why I've got them slotted, to be honest. Lingering health, you can use them if you want to be absolutely unkillable. If you're good at switching between pots whilst you're in a fight, I do consider having them slotted, because sometimes it's too much. If you get hit with Defile and shit, these really help, because obviously Defile's your worst nightmare on this sort of setup. But yeah, the main pots are the essence of weapon crit, just health, stam, major savagery. Lovely, to be honest. You'll see why in a sec. But yeah, that's it for the gear. Onto the character sheet. These are all unbuffed, as you can see. Pretty decent stats, do you know what I mean? 1k health recovery, no Steed Mundus, no Trollking either. So that's just flat through Arteum and CP and Race and whatever, which I'm Khajiit, by the way. You'll get why when I get onto it. But yeah, resistances are low, but they don't need to be high because you've got Bloodspawn as well. So Bloodspawn, in my opinion, is better than Trollking, but Trollking, mate, if you ain't against anyone with Defile on, you're unkillable. You're in medium, you're slamming people with 10k dizzies if they're not watching the back. But yeah, these are the recoveries, the max stam, everything really. I'll show you them buffed, just with a forward momentum. So they're the recoveries you're sitting on. That's your base weapon damage without any buffs, other than the rally, the forward momentum, sorry. That's your front bar stats. That's your max stam. Onto the skills. Front bar vigor. I still like vigor front bar because I've got into the habit of having it on the front bar because the vigor's so much stronger. You're all probably aware. And yeah, if you keep it on your front bar, you can weave it in between attacking. And if your Briarheart's going off, I'm not being funny. If you've got Briarheart and Crit Surge up, you're going to be healing massively. If you think about the Crit Surge heal at 3.5k or whatever it is, with your 700 Briarheart heal on top of that, and being Khajiit, gives you 10% more crit damage and crit healing. So if you're critting healing with 50% crit chance, which you have fully buffed, you're laughing. You're not going to die. You straight up not going to die. Forward momentum keeps you fast. Shuffle snare immunity is crap. 2 seconds versus 4 seconds, no brainer. You're allowed to be you can be so fast with forward momentum because of that snare immunity. It doesn't seem like 2 seconds is a big deal, but it is compared to shuffle. And I always use shuffle. If you've watched my videos in the past, that's why I always use 2H bow with shuffle. This is faster and this is more mobile. It's just all around so much better. Bound armaments, obviously, max stam, your recoveries from your passives, and block mitigation if you want to use that shit. I'm not sure where I really use it. Maybe if I get a soul assault on me, I'll use it. Reverse slice, you can use execution if you want, but you can burst groups down with this. If you time a heavy attack into a Dawnbreaker perfectly, that's all you'll need, and just spam the fuck out of reverse slice and you'll be sound. Dizzy swing, obviously your main spammable. Hits like a truck. Got a lot of penetration on this build. I'll show you everything after. And then obviously Dawnbreaker or smiting. You burst. Back bar, dark deal. You don't even need this. I use it as a defensive heal whilst line of sighting. Never really use it for the stam at all because the recovery is so high on this. You don't need the recovery on the dark deal. You might do if you're new to it, but if you're an experienced player or Stamsorc, you'll manage perfectly fine without it. But yeah, when you're taking line of sight, it's nice to have that extra burst heal. If you don't have a burst heal, it's all heal over time. It's easy to be defiled or whatever. It's nice to have on your bar. Hurricane, resistance buff. Not too much to talk about there. Blood Craze. Blood Craze is mainly being used for the heal. You get 1100 health every 2 seconds for the duration. You might look at that and think the bleed's pathetic. It is, so well, I'm not using it for the bleed, using it for the heal more so than anything. So back bar. Bleeds do add pressure, don't get me wrong. Heavy attack into a Blood Craze on the back bar, your poisons are proccing. Your bleed from your Blood Craze is proccing and you're getting the heal. So just keep it up at all times and you'll be laughing. Crit Surge, the key heal on this build, with back bar having 50% crit chance fully buffed, and your front bar having 44% crit chance. Hurricane ticking, you've got your Blade Cloak ticking, you've got Blood Craze ticking, you've got a lot of things going on that's dealing damage, area of effect as well. So the chances are you're going to be critting every second, give or take. So when this is popping, you're healing for 3.2 health every second if you're critting. Add the Briarheart heal to that with a few crits. I've had ticks of nearly 5k from Briarheart and Crit Surge together. It's spot on, absolutely spot on. That's your main heal. Keep that up at all times, because whilst you're dealing damage, you're healing, and you're healing a lot with Briarheart. Yeah, Quick Cloak used for the Black Rose dual wield. I think with low resistances, your blood spawn isn't up all the time. So if you're taking heavy pressure, you can keep up your Black Rose. I don't necessarily think Black Rose is broken when used like this, because you get heavy Stamplars in Steadfast Hero or whatever, using the Black Rose dual wield, and it's unkillable majority of the time on a Stamplar. But yeah, no aids. Got 20k resistances, you need a bit of extra defense. Your defensive, you can have whatever you want really. Suppression field if I'm playing in a group. Greater Storm Atro is pretty decent. I've been testing that outnumbered, to be fair. It's really nice. And when you're in open field, you drop down an Atro, you can get your Dawnbreaker back, because you're running Bloodspawn. You can get your Dawnbreaker back whilst your Atro's still up. So you can focus down the tankier targets as the Atro does. Works well. Berserker Strike, don't worry about that. Pack Leader, you can use Werewolf, to be fair. You might be squishy, I've never tried it. But if you want to try it, go for it. The healing will be crazy on it. Or Temporal Guard. That's my main go-to be fair, if I'm playing. I don't use it because it's bugged out horrifically at the minute. But the Mana Protection is spot on. Nothing more to go over skills but the Khajiit. So you get Tri Recoveries, which I love on a Stamsorc. This is why the Orzorga's food, you can drop a bit of damage from your max stat on your Stam to get Tri Recoveries. If you run the Orzorga's food, you'll be sat over 1k recovery on each 3 of the recoveries. You can get infinite dark deals. It's nice if you're using Streak. It's really good for your health recovery, of course, and Stam recovery. So it's an option, but the Tri Recoveries I think is beneficial for a Stamsorc. If you want to use Dark Deal, you've always got Magicka. If you want to use Crit Surge, you've always got Magicka. You don't have to worry about any Magicka sustain at all. And that's what I like about this. The Stam recovery is really nice as well. You can just go all out in fights. If you're outnumbered, you've got to keep your heals up. You've got to keep everything up whilst bursting them down as well. It can be a bit costly on your Stam. So that's why I've got a high stamina recovery, because 1900 is the sweet spot really. You get a pot going and a continuous. You're on about 2.7 recovery. Max health Magicka Stam again. It's nice to have the health on this. Bit more than my 2H bow setup, because that was glass cannon. That hit like a truck, but it wasn't tanky. Whereas this, it isn't tanky, it's just got probably the best healing power you can get on this sort of style of Sorc. And then the last one, the key one, is the crit damage and healing. It's just, again, you got quite a high crit for a Stamsorc on this, 50 and 44%. So you're going to be critting healing and damage a lot. So you're going to get 10% more damage on that. Obviously, it's a no-brainer. Onto CP. To be fair, I'm not really a sweat with my CP, so you can probably do it better yourself. But I go 66 Warlord because, again, you're always going to be breaking free. And at the minute, and if you're playing Vivek anyway, at the minute you can't break free, so it's probably not even worth running. Sprint 2%, just leftover points. Always wanting to siphon for the extra debuff. Tenacity, I go 56 because I'm not in heavy armor, so you don't get as much return on the heavy attacks. But this, if you do run low on Stam, it keeps you up. This is why I don't think I'm going to need Dark Deal because of tenacity and the stamina recovery. So I'm going to think of an alternate for that. But as of now, I'm using Dark Deal. Mooncalf, 10% for the stam recovery, obviously, and that's again nice with what we're going for. Health recovery 8%. I like having this because my health recovery is on a flat 1k unbuffed. I'm not using Troll King, but 1k unbuffed health recovery, fully buffed with a pot continuous, probably about 1.5. You're going to be getting obviously that heal every 2 seconds, and it helps massively. This is why Troll King, you can be hitting about 5k health recovery on this build. You won't have the resistances, but you can probably imagine the healing power. Shadow Ward block, because I block on both bars, to be fair. If a Soul Assault's coming in, if I'm getting sniped, if I'm getting just heavily pressured, the whole block, couple of Blade Cloaks to keep the major protection up. But yeah, 6%, nothing too major because you don't block an awful lot, to be honest. Roll Dodge 20%, no brainer. Blast 43, you can put more in if you want. I always go 10% on every stand build. Just because that's my preference, and that's pretty much what CP is, to be honest. So, Master Arms 56, 20%, fairly simple. Thaumatage, not going for any sort of damage over time buff on this, really. Like I said, the main reason for Blood Craze is the heal. It's nice to have the additional pressure, but when you're going for a build like mine in full medium, no defense, you want as much healing as you can get. And Hurricane doesn't hit hard even if you put 100 into Thaumaturge, so you may as well not even bother. Precise Strikes 20%. Again, we want to be crit damage and crit healing, so every crit we're dealing is dealing 20% more damage plus the 10% from Khajiit. Happy days. Physical penetration, put a decent amount in there. Again, you play around with it yourself. I'm just going for high penetration because of the tanky builds out there. And Mighty 56, 12%. Ironclad 66, again, no brainer. Spell Shield and Medium Armor Focus I've put into just over 1k for both resistances, because if not, I wanted, well, what I initially wanted was to reach the 20k mark on the back bar, because running around with 19.9k resistances just feels disgusting. So there you go, do what you want with that. If you don't want to add it, you don't have to. But I did. Crit resist 1k, 38 points. Hardy Elemental Defender 49. Thick Skin 34. Nothing really to explain there. And quick recovery again for the healing. Just want to quickly go over why this build's so strong. So the reason why this is so strong defensively is you've got the obviously your Resolving Vigor heal, which is your main heal. Keep it up at all times whilst being pressured. Even weave it in whilst you're on the offense, just so you don't get caught out. So you've got the Vigor heal, you've got the Forward Momentum heal over time, you've got the Blood Craze heal over time, you've got the Crit Surge heal over time, and on top of that you've got Brightheart, which is proccing and just adding to your Crit Surge heals. It stacks really, really well. And I see some people using 7th Legion on Stamsorcs, and it just blows my mind, because Brightheart literally gives you the same amount of weapon damage but with heals as well, which you can partner perfectly with Crit Surge. The set's literally made for a Stamsorc, and I'm telling you now, if you get good at managing all your heals, keeping them all up, keeping everything up in a swift rotation, you ain't gonna die unless you get heavily defiled and outnumbered. But even if you're outnumbered with Defile, the thing is, the beauty of this build is it's so fast with Blade Cloak and Medium Armor. It's faster than my 2H bow, because you don't need to use a roll dodge to initiate the speed. But yeah, it's a solid setup. If you have any questions, let me know. Serpent Mundus, by the way, quickly. Yeah, if you have any problems, let me know. Or any questions, anything, just let me know. and I will sort you out. Please enjoy the gameplay now that I'll add in. It's only been over the past few days, but yeah, I just want to show you in action. Anyway, take it easy.
I don't wanna go down the road that I've been before. Wanna go see the world where I've never been before. Wanna see all these people that I've never met before. Wanna go give you everything and everything and more. I'm like, oh, you're not alone. Cause the times I feel like I can't control what's on my mind, and I just see the light. I feel like I got angels on my side, but then I just feel insane. Cause all the hunger and the pain never change. But I'm thankful for my ups and my downs, so I'm about to turn the shit straight up now. You can trust that. Got my zone and I stood on my own. I said fuck that, no, it won't trap me. I don't wanna go down the road that I've been before. Wanna go see the world where I've never been before. Wanna see all these people that I've never met before. Wanna go and give you everything and everything and more. I'm like, oh, you're not alone. Cause the times I feel like I can't control what's on my mind, and I just see the light. I feel like I got angels on my side, but then I just feel insane. Cause all the hunger and the pain never change. But I'm thankful for my ups and my downs, so I'm about to turn the shit straight up now. You can trust that.